What's up guys, my name is Ace, and now that we finally have hardcore game modes in Modern Warfare 2, a lot of people have been reaching out asking me what are the best guns to use in hardcore game modes, so that's what we're going to be covering in great detail in today's video. Now of course, before we get into this, I obviously want to point out that this is hardcore, and you can make any gun work in hardcore game modes. That's actually why a lot of people like hardcore. It doesn't really have a strict meta. And the gap between the best gun and the worst gun in hardcore is tiny compared to what you would see in core game modes. So if you don't see your favorite gun on this list, don't worry, I'm sure it's still a very usable gun in hardcore modes. I'm just honing in on the stats to find which ones are statistically the best. And with that, let's dive right into the breakdown, and the first thing I'm going to share is, at least for a lot of the popular weapon classes, I want to share and compare the one-shot kill ranges. Now I'm going to try to blast through these fairly quickly so we can get into the actual top 10 list, but if you want to take a deeper look at this, please feel free to pause the video or screenshot these, because there is quite a bit of valuable information to be learned here. So let's start it off with the SMGs, and honestly, SMGs in this game don't have a whole lot of one-shot kill potential. However, with the MX-9, Lockman Sub, Vaznev 9K, FSS Hurricane, and Minibok, all of these have a one-shot kill potential in their maximum damage range, which is gonna hover right around that 10-meter mark. It does vary a little bit depending on which gun, but it is worth noting with all of these within those ranges, you can shoot them anywhere in the body for a one-shot kill. Even in the hand or the foot, it will be a one-shot kill. Outside of that though, it's going to take you 2 shots to kill with all of these SMGs, and with some of them, they can even drop off to a 3-shot kill at longer ranges if you aren't hitting the torso or upper torso, like in the case with the Fennec. As for assault rifles, there's a whole lot more going on here, and as you can see, there's obviously much more one-shot kill potential with these, but some of the standouts here are obviously the Kastoff 762. This is a one-shot kill at any range, anywhere in the body, as long as you're not shooting through some form of cover at least. Then we've got the STB with the single tap mod. That one has an infinite one-shot kill potential as well, although at longer ranges you have to hit an upper torso shot. The M16, again, has an infinite one-shot kill potential, but once you start stretching out the ranges, you gotta make sure you're hitting torso or upper torso shots. Kastoff 545 also has a pretty solid one-shot kill range to the full body. And then finally, the ISO Hemlock. This one does stand out, especially with the 300 blackout ammo. Now, I know this is bugged out for a lot of people at the moment, but I'm still going to share those stats, so once we are able to unlock that attachment properly, you can see that it is quite a solid choice for hardcore. After that, we have our battle rifles, and these are great when it comes to one-shot kills. For some of them, especially in full auto mode, you will have to be hitting them in the torso or upper torso, especially at longer ranges. But it's worth noting, if you keep the Lockman 762 or the TAC-V in semi-auto, it will be a one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. Then for LMGs, surprisingly, some of these aren't very good with a one-shot kill potential, like the HCR and the Icarus, for instance. The LMG is a one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range, although it does have much slower handling and mobility than the others. The second MG38 is the next best here, with an amazing one-shot kill potential anywhere in the body. Even though it's not infinite, this will cover almost all gunfights in 6v6. And the RPK is just behind it as well, with a one-shot kill potential of about 56 to 57 meters. Now finally, I'm going to skip ahead to the pistols because all of the marksman rifles are a one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range, so there's no point in showing a graph for that, and obviously same thing with sniper rifles. As we can see here, the P890 has an infinite one-shot kill potential, however you have to hit an upper torso shot beyond about 42 meters. And then on top of that, the 50GS and the Basilisk are both going to be a one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. I should also point out the X12 is not bad at all when it comes to hardcore. It's got a pretty decent one-shot kill potential, especially for a pistol. So there we go, those are our one-shot kill ranges. Now we can finally move into my actual top 10 list here. Keep in mind, you could of course reorder this a little bit depending on your preferences, so it's not necessarily in the perfect order. But just keep in mind, my main focuses for a hardcore gun are of course going to be the one-shot kill potential. That's very important. Also, aim down sight speed and sprint out times are really important in hardcore game modes because it's often about who can just get that first shot off as fast as possible. So I'm definitely going to put a lot of emphasis on that. Things like recoil are not nearly as important in hardcore compared to core game modes. Also, as I'm going through my list in the background, I'm going to just show off a couple example attachment combinations that you may want to use for hardcore game modes. And starting it off with number 10 on my list here, this is actually going to be a pistol, and this is the P890. And like I said, this one has a guaranteed one-shot kill range out to about 42 meters, which is great. And also, with it being a pistol, it has amazing aim down sight and sprint out times. But the big thing that holds this back, and the reason it's a bit lower on my list here, is its bullet velocity is extremely slow at 250 meters per second. And since this is so slow, it's definitely going to affect your ability to hit a moving target at even mid-ranges, honestly, with the P890. As for number 9, this is the RPK, and the reason I chose the RPK over the other LMGs out there is even though it doesn't have the best one-shot kill potential, it's still incredible at 57 meters anywhere in the body, so that is going to cover nearly every gunfight you'll ever find in 6v6. And another reason I chose the RPK is it's just really versatile with its attachment selection, and you can really significantly improve your aim down sight speed, much more so than many of the other LMGs out there, and that just makes it the best LMG choice, in my opinion, for hardcore game modes. As for the next one, this is the ISO Hemlock with the 300 Blackout ammunition. Now, even without 300 Blackout, it's still a very solid gun to use in hardcore game modes. It's just a little bit better with 300 Blackout. And this just has a nice balance of a great guaranteed one-shot kill potential at 33 meters, and then it's got assault rifle level handling, which is pretty good. It's just a nice balance across the board. On a somewhat similar story, for the next gun on the list, this is the Cast-Off 545. Again, we've got a great guaranteed one-shot kill range at 32 meters. That's going to cover a lot of the gunfights you find, and it's also got slightly better recoil, handling, and bullet velocity compared to the Hemlock. Next up, a gun you may not have considered for hardcore game modes is the STB 556 with the single tap mod magazine. And the reason we want to use the single tap mod specifically is our guaranteed one-shot kill potential is 47 meters, and beyond that, you can still get a one-shot kill at any range as long as you hit an upper torso shot, which is amazing. But on top of that, we have a great aim down sight speed for an assault rifle at 230 milliseconds, and our sprint out time is also incredible at just 75 milliseconds, which is actually the fastest in the entire game. It's faster than the pistols in this game, and that can really pay off, especially in hardcore game modes. So if you guys do play hardcore and you haven't given the STB with single tap a shot yet, make sure you do. I think you're really going to enjoy it. But after that, moving on to number 5 on my list, we've got the TAC-V battle rifle. And with this, I would encourage you to swap it over to semi-auto mode, even though it still works great in full auto for hardcore. When you switch it to semi-auto, you're guaranteed a one-shot kill at any range, anywhere in the body. Our aim down sight speed, while slower than most of the assault rifles, is still very manageable at 290 milliseconds, and we've got a great bullet velocity with this as well. On a very similar note, the next gun I've got on my list here is the Lockman 762 for basically the same reasons. Again, I'd recommend keeping it in semi-auto mode for a guaranteed one-shot kill anywhere at any range. However, with this, we do get a better aim down sight speed compared to the TAC-V, and that's why it's just slightly higher up on my list. And now we're finally into the top 3, and for number 3 on my list, I've actually got the Basilisk pistol. And the first reason for this is, of course, it's a one-shot kill at any range, anywhere in the body, which is amazing. It's obviously got pistol-level handling as well, so our aim-down sight speed's incredible at 150 milliseconds, and our sprint-out time is just 80 milliseconds, so you can get that first accurate shot off very, very quickly compared to other guns in the game, if you're coming out of a sprint, so this allows you to be very aggressive. However, there are a couple things that will hold it back. First up, our bullet velocity isn't amazing. It's 375 meters per second, and therefore when you start to get to the longer ranges, you may have to lead targets a little bit if they're moving. And another thing you have to compensate for with this that you don't have to worry about with any of the other guns on this list is there is a trigger delay. So when you pull the trigger, it doesn't fire immediately. However, this can be reduced quite significantly by using 2 of the trigger attachments in the game, and therefore I definitely recommend using one of those attachments. As for number 2 on my list, this is the 50GS, or the Desert Eagle, because once again, just like with the Basilisk, it's a one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. And while our aim down sight speed isn't quite as fast as the Basilisk, we don't have to worry about any trigger delay with this. And overall, I feel like that just makes this an easier gun to use compared to the Basilisk. I personally love running around with the 50GS because it just one-taps people like crazy at any range. You can snipe them, or you can play it almost like it's a shotgun, and you should be able to find success. And with that, before we get into number 1 on my list, I did want to have an honorable mention, because you may have noticed up until this point, there hasn't been a single SMG on this list, and that's just because there's not much of a one-shot kill potential with the SMGs in this game for hardcore. And as a result, while they're all very usable because they're super easy to use, versatile guns, and you can still get kills consistently with a 2-shot kill, quite simply, none of these SMGs would have made it onto the top 10 list. So at the very least, I wanted to share what my top choice would be if I really want to use an SMG. And it turns out this is the Vaznev 9K. And this is for a few reasons. First off, the one-shot kill potential is kind of right in the middle for an SMG at 10 meters, and this is anywhere in the body. But also with this, we have a great aim down sight speed, great sprint out time, excellent bullet velocity, especially for an SMG. And finally, unlike several of the other SMGs in the game, this will never take you more than 2 shots to kill. And with that, we can finally move into the #1 gun in hardcore game modes, at least in my opinion, based on the stats. This is clearly the Kastov 7.62. There is quite simply nothing in the game that is as amazing as this gun is for hardcore game modes. It's got a guaranteed one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. It's got assault rifle level handling and mobility stats. Our bullet velocity is also great. And for all of the stats that really count in hardcore game modes, this just has the best balance overall, in my opinion. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for my top 10 guns to use in hardcore game modes currently in Modern Warfare 2. Obviously, you can use a much wider variety of guns that are outside of this list and still find a ton of success, but if you're looking for that peak performance, you'll probably want to go with one of the guns on this list. Now, of course, this is just my list and my opinions based on the research that I've done with these guns. This is where I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. What are some of your favorite guns to use in hardcore so far for Modern Warfare 2? Are there any that aren't on my top 10 list here that you feel deserve a spot to be in the top 10? If so, please let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.